So, I feel like the climate protesters are running out of things to protest. I mean, here we've got climate protesters create disruption at Tour de France. Tour de France, that's bicycles. I thought they liked bicycles. I mean, I can understand why they're mad at, SUVs. I mean, I don't agree with them, but I can understand their logic at least. Bicycles? A bike race? Honestly, I mean, what's next? With that cheese rolling competition they do in England? I don't know, but one thing seems to be clear from this point on. If something exists and it involves people, they're going to protest it. And hey, nobody ever said that climate protesters weren't crazy. But anyway, what's going on here? It says a small group of environmental protesters created havoc at the Tour de France on Tuesday after they chained themselves together and sat on the roadway. That doesn't sound like the best idea to me, to chain yourself together and sit on the road as a bunch of bicyclists barrel towards you. Anyway, it says Tour de France officials acted swiftly and were photographed forcibly dragging members of the group from the course into a nearby ditch. Hey, we have these protesters. Where should we put them? Put them in the ditch. The climate change protest came as tour officials pledged to switch gears to reduce the event's pollution and commit, quote, to being an increasingly eco-responsible organization. And guess what? It's never enough. You're wasting your time trying to placate these people. After all, these are the people who insist on ceasing the use of fossil fuels immediately and don't seem to get that there's nothing to replace it. There's nothing that can replace the cheap fossil fuels that we have, that we use right now. And without that source of energy, billions of people will starve. So, it ain't gonna happen. Though it looks like a lot of these protesters are starving already. And maybe if this one got a bit more protein, it wouldn't have been so easy to throw him into the ditch. Let's see, in 2020, the race was described as macho and polluting. That's right, when I think of macho, I think of a bike race. Well, I mean, first I think of a Quidditch league. And then the Tour de France, the second most macho sport in the world. But in fairness, there is a dark side to the Tour de France. Although cycling is environmentally friendly, the world's largest annual sporting contest is accompanied by a large convoy that rolls a village built to accommodate 4,000 people across rural France for 3 weeks. And I guess a protester said this, quote, "Since the government doesn't care about the climate crisis, we need to come and take over the Tour de France, the macho Tour de France, to refocus attention on what matters for our survival. We need to make our government react as they lead us to the slaughterhouse." And that's a typically hysterical statement. And you know what? You know where these protesters should go? They should go to Sri Lanka. They'll like it there. They don't have any energy. And they forced all their farmers to go green, to go organic. And check out this headline. Fertilizer ban decimates Sri Lankan crops as government popularity ebbs. As it ebbs. Now, this article was written on March 3rd, 2022. And I think it's fairly safe to say that in Sri Lanka, the government's popularity has certainly ebbed. And that's because people there don't have energy and they don't have food. And these French protesters can also live like that if they ever get what they think they want. But, I mean, maybe they have a point. Maybe France is a huge polluter. So let's see. Here's the top annual CO2 emitting countries. Where's France? Oh, here it is. That's 1%. That doesn't seem like that much. What's this big pink one here? That's China. 29%? 29% just from China? Well, it seems to me that these protesters are in the wrong country. They need to go to China. That's where they can do the most good. When do the World Ping Pong Championships start? They need to book their tickets now. But, yeah, actually, I doubt these protesters are going to be meeting up with Greta Thunberg in China. Because, for one thing, it's hard to go that far when you're made out of 90% soy. Secondly, Yeah, China ain't having it. Now, if these people had any sense, they'd be advocating for fourth generation nuclear, because that could actually help to meet some of their goals. But for some reason, they don't seem interested, and I find it quite bizarre. Actually, just as bizarre as protesting a bike race. Anyway, please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. Sharing really, really does help me out. I notice it when people share my content. It makes a big difference. Thank you for that. I'll see you next time.